Hello?
Do you really want Grandma to die so you can collect money?
I'm sorry?
Do you really want Grandma to die so you can collect money?
What are you talking about?
I'm referring to what my father, who was born in 1955, what he said.
I don't even know how to respond to that, Richard. If you want to believe him, that's fine. I don't know why you would possibly think that that would be true.
Why would he say that?
I don't know.
I was in the living room with you and Lean or Neil, and he said he wanted to condition me when I was there. I don't know if you were there for that conversation or not, but I remember you were sitting on the couch and he was sitting at his table, and this was before the first therapy appointment or whatever with Dr. Lyons. Now, I don't know if you had you said you were looking around for different therapists and whatnot. Was this in connection to my sexuality? Because you're very close to Neil, and you...
Okay, well, hold on, Richard. You started off by saying your father said that I wanted Grandma to die because I wanted her money. And now you are completely changing topics. So let's deal with the first thing you said. I cannot tell you how untrue that is. If you want to believe your father, that's on you. I am telling you, you're calling me, and I am telling you the last thing I want to happen is for Grandma to die. And if you don't believe that, that's not my problem.
Well, okay.
Okay? You obviously have other issues that you need to talk to somebody about.
Yeah.
Probably Neil or myself is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And we have encouraged you from day one to continue seeing Dr. Lyons, Dr. Beaumont, because clearly you have questions that need to be answered. And I don't think coming to us, I don't think we're the right source.
Neil
so
is being... Yes. Sorry, go on.
I can only encourage... That's okay. I can only encourage you to talk to somebody that's objective and stop making assumptions about Neil, about me, and other members of our family.
Neil is being paid to take care of Grandma, right? And this is a job for him. So why is he so keen on, she needs to go to a home or she needs to be taken to some facility or whatever? And it's really weird because Maureen, who works there, is always like, oh, I'm going to stay there till the end, until she's in heaven, thankfully. But when I was there... Okay,
once again, you're switching topics. So it's very difficult for me to follow you, and I'm not even sure you're aware you're doing this. Okay, so that's why I encourage you. And frankly, Richard, to your credit, you even admitted at one point that you need help with your social skills. And here's a prime example. Now, to answer your question directly, there is no way I am letting Grandma go to a nursing home. Does that answer your question? I don't care what Neil says. I don't care what Maureen says. Okay? She's not going into any type of nursing facility, period.
Okay, but so clearly you two went back and forth about that. I mean, I'm not making this up.
Okay, well, regardless if we did, if Neil feels one way and I feel the other, yeah, we are going to go back and forth about it. I've had recent conversations with him that you know nothing about, where I made it very clear to him that she is not going into a nursing facility.
Well, so from my understanding...
That brings you... Okay, hold on. I hope that brings you some peace of mind.
Well... what you're saying is counter, because from my observation, you two were both interested in doing that. But going back to Dr. Lyons and the therapy thing or whatever, and Neil wanting to condition me, quote unquote, which I can't remember if you were there for that comment or not. I think you may have been, but I'm not 100% sure. Are you still in contact with Dr. Lyons by any chance?
No, I could never have any contact with her because there was no medical release signed by you, giving me permission to get information on you. The only person that she will contact is Neil. She will not, I actually tried to contact her a long time ago, and she said she couldn't respond to me because, you know, she respected the confidentiality of the patient-doctor relationship, meaning you and her. And I get that, and that's actually how she should have responded. So the only person that she will communicate with is Neil. That being said, I'm assuming you still have her contact information, either phone number or email. And she, I believe, recommended a Dr. Beaumont. I don't know. It's
Yes.
been a while. Okay.
But you did find her, so that is, it's a bit odd that Neil can get into contact with her, but you can't. But if there was some level of some development,
Richard, I'll tell you why. You have to sign a medical release form. You did not sign one for me. You only signed one for Neil. And that's fine. I mean, that's absolutely fine. But I'm saying it's because of that reason that I have that I cannot contact her, or she cannot give me any information about you. So I want you to understand that's the reason why.
Yeah. Well, it's also the fact that I guess you went to some kind of institute filled with mostly conservative, like, I don't want to say Jewish interests or whatever, but some kind of connection. And, like, I feel like when I was...
Wait a minute, hold on. What are you talking about and what are you referring to?
So, like, Dr. Lyons, I know you talked to her on the phone at some point multiple times, and when we had the session, she was like, Linda's, she didn't say unpleasant, but she said she's difficult or whatever. Maybe it was just the one conversation that you guys had or the two conversations you guys had. But originally, from my understanding, it was supposed to be another one, the guy, there was two guys that I met, and one of them was this, and whatever his name was, he was supposed to be the one, from my understanding, or maybe he was just supposed to pick somebody. I don't know, but
okay, I'll answer your question so that you do know. He referred you to Dr. Lyons. So does that help clear things up for you?
Yes, but I also know there was some kind of weird development in between the space where she could have been, where he could have been the one to do the neuropsychological evaluation, but maybe my understanding is wrong. But you found this guy, and this guy is connected with all these people, and this is obviously, a Jewish conservative guy or whatever, so he's already not fit to be doing this, nor is anybody really, like, around him. This should have been, like, obviously you and Margie agreed or whatever. This should have been done with within LGBT space, or just not even that, but just like somebody who's more appropriate or whatever. So you picked somebody that, like, you guys know you could kind of, like, tap a little bit on the head. So I get it or whatever. This is so you guys
Okay, Richard, you are making... so far, you've made 3 wrong assumptions about this situation, okay? If this was strictly an evaluation, and I even told Dr. Lyons that you had told me that you were gay, bisexual, whatever. So if she didn't feel that was important to your evaluation or the results, and you're concerned about that, then you should ask her or Dr. Beaumont where, if it's possible to get evaluated by somebody that's sensitive to LGBT, issues. So that's on you, Richard, if you want to continue with that.
Did you tell Dr. Lyons that I knew about the 3 and I knew about the 3 being a thing since the 70s?
Wait a minute, hold on. You've lost me again. You need to be more specific.
Okay, so, like, when you kind of know about something, but you don't know you don't exactly know how to put it in a box together. So I kind of knew about the 3. being a thing since the 70s in America. So my question is, did you tell that to Dr. Lyons prior to the meeting?
Wait a minute, the three, I have no idea what you're talking about. The three what?
The three is like, ever since the 70s in America, the society became the three. Not 100%, but just as like a a lot of people, like the from top to bottom, it was enforced the three. It's like, you know, brown, black, white, or whatever. But basically, America changed throughout the history or whatever. But I was just wondering, did you tell Dr. Lyons that I knew about the three?
Okay, first of all, I didn't even know about the three. Why would I possibly say that to her? And to answer your question more directly and simply, the answer is no, because I don't even know what you're talking about now. So the answer is no. Does that help clarify things for you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It was one of those things where when I had the different sessions with her, she, like, it felt as if it was almost like an experiment that you and Neil were conducting on the both of us or something like that. And I just
okay,
to
Richard,
let you know,
you're being paranoid. You are being paranoid. Absolutely. We did this for your best interest. And if you feel like we were ganging up on you, then you know what? That's how you feel. I can't help the way you feel. Feelings aren't right or wrong. But I'm telling you, that's not what happened. And the bottom line is, number one, it's over. It's done with. So for you to keep revisiting the situation and how it occurred, or maybe you weren't happy with the results, it's done.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well,
okay.
Sorry, go on.
No, I'm done. It's just very frustrating because you keep bringing up things that occurred in the past, and, you know, I'm trying to answer your questions, and I don't know, it's very frustrating for me.
You do know that if my dad's chair was broken incorrectly, that he could have died, like, in the last month? Between the family drama,
Richard, you're switching subjects, and I have no idea what you're talking about. You really need to go in and talk to Dr. Beaumont, Dr. Lyons, somebody, because the course of this conversation...
I messaged them, and they haven't gotten back to me. But either way, this has to do more with the four of you. My dad living in Mexico, he reached out to Greg. Did you get in contact with Greg by any chance?
Greg who?
Greg Karpenko.
Okay, I have no idea who you're talking about.
I emailed, the email may have not been written, like it might have been a sporadic blurge or whatever, but basically he is one of my friends, almost former friends, who lives in acquaintance, more so work buddy, that lives in Hollywood, and I wrote an email to the family and I put Greg Karpenko. I was wondering, did you see that or not?
You know what? I don't even remember. Frankly, you know, I blocked you. I probably should not have even continued to talk to you once I heard that it was you. I have no idea how you're living your life, who your friends are, and frankly, it's just not something that is a priority for me right now.
Absolutely.
You seem to be doing okay, you know, and so the only suggestion I can give you is if you have questions, if you're feeling like you need to talk to somebody, I would really suggest an objective person, not a member of your family.
So basically, my dad, my dad messaged Greg at some point, because I had blocked my dad, and I was like, if you want to get into contact with me further, please message Greg. So my dad actually messaged Greg. He's Ukrainian and he's Jewish. So already there, you two have some already, like, obviously completely different. He's American, right? He's American, but I mean, like, culturally or whatever. So basically, like, my dad had messaged Greg, and then Greg messaged me, and he was like, by the way, did you know that your dad messaged me? So basically, when that foot comes down, because, like, the drama between the family, like, everybody is getting tapped or whatever. If that foot came down too hard on my dad who's living in Mexico and there was nobody there to respond to me, you do know my dad could have died, right?
Okay, again, I have no idea what you're talking about. Zero.
You don't know about
and the bottom line is, Richard, your father's alive.
A father's
so
alive?
For you to worry,
a lie or alive?
Alive. So for you to worry about what could have happened to him, you know, he's alive. He's living. He's doing well. I don't know. But you know, for you to keep these situations in your head about what could have happened is, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So again, it's in the past. And for some reason, you just seem to want to have to analyze every little thing that's happening between relationships of anybody. And you make assumptions. And that's why it's very difficult to communicate with you. And again, I will say this for the fourth or fifth time, you really need to talk to somebody objective. So I encourage you.
I understand. You're saying you aren't, is what you're saying. You're saying you are not objective. You're not an objective human being.
I'm a family member, Richard. It's very difficult to be objective when you're a part of the family.
Yeah.
So I would really encourage you, if they haven't responded back, email or call them again until somebody gets back to you.
So before you blocked me, I wrote, I thank you for finding Dr. Lyons, but in connection to flying out, I asked some friends and they said you had no right to treat me that way. Like you don't even know what my dad is doing and you're speaking to me and making these decisions when life gets serious and without a real understanding. So this was about my dog, and my dog is already, my mom's dog, because it was originally my mom's dog. The dog's already dead or whatever, and obviously if my dad wanted to, if he was more keen on seeing me, it wouldn't, you and Neil, it wouldn't have even been a, it has nothing to do with you, right? It has to do with him making the decision and reaching out to me. But, when you were saying that, you weren't sure if he was coming out, all I'm saying is, if you were there kind of reinforcing me and you actually trusted me back then, I don't know, because Shudik was on his last days last week or whatever, there was a chance that if I was more firm, I would have been able to drill that into my dad as far as the messaging goes and then fly out there. But because you were there kind of as a wall, kind of making it more difficult for me, it made it so that...
No, Richard, stop. You are making assumptions. You are making up these... fantasies in your head. I was never a wall between you and your father. Do not put that on me. Never happened, and it never will. Guess what? It's your father. I mean, he made the decision not to see you because he couldn't deal with you. And you know what? You are going to take my words, spin them, and probably email the world. And that's why I don't like talking to you, because you take what anybody says, not just me, anybody, and you put your own spin on it, and it's completely false.
Well, he messaged
false
me.
Assumptions.
He messaged me.
You know what, Richard?
Yes.
I can't talk to you any longer because I know what I say to you. You're going to take and repeat completely. You're going to take it completely out of context and put your own,
Linda, my dad said he could not come here. He told me he could not come here because he was sick and he was giving him medicine.
Okay, Richard, that's between you and your father. I had nothing to do with your relationship.
So then why did you just say that he didn't want to see me?
And your father.
Okay, I get it.
Good.
So...
Okay, I have to go. I can't talk
to
you
any longer.
Have a great day. I really...